Welcome back to another video. Today I'm working on a commercial condenser, and I'm going to give you a very good tip for you to be able to do what I did, because this is an idea that not everybody would have. If you have a bad compressor on a 15-ton condenser, you would say you need a new compressor or you need a new unit, but you wouldn't say, you know what, I can isolate one side of that and get the other side running so that you can have some air. And that's something that in the field can give you a customer. Say this is a new customer and you give them this option. The other heat and air companies didn't give them this option. They priced them a very expensive outdoor unit. This right here is 410A. I didn't see a reason why I shouldn't do what I did. And I'm going to talk to you about what I did and give you this information so that you can do this in the field too, because you can actually gain a customer for life for doing something like this. The other heat and air companies were, hey, compressor or new outdoor unit. I was like, you know what? We have a third option. Let's get the other section of the unit running because they're separate. You got two 7.5-ton compressors. Why not get one section of this condenser running so that you can still have some air, and then you don't have to worry about buying a new unit until next year, because of course they have gas furnaces inside, which I'll show you in just a minute. But I gained a customer for life, and this was easy. It took probably 3 or 4 hours to get this back up and running. There was a process, there was a step-by-step process, and I'm going to talk to you about that here in just a second. If you like the videos, definitely hit the like button, share, hit the notification, the bell, ding, so you know what I'm doing. And leave me a comment. If you don't have a question by the end of the video, it's perfectly fine. Leave me a comment, let me know who you are and where you're from. I'm Tad, you're watching HVAC Tips for Technicians, and if you want to learn more, check out my playlist, HVAC Tips for Technicians. To all my members, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You are what make this happen right now. Okay, so had a bad compressor, was short to ground, created that black sooty oil, and what I did was I closed the valves for the section that you see the panel off of, and then I started this section. I actually just started this unit just a moment ago, and I had actually a 100 amp blown fuse, had to replace that. That was something I didn't know about until after. So definitely, if you have a short to ground and you got fuses in your box, you may want to check your fuses. If you want to know how to check fuses or a compressor by using your meter, figure out what a short to ground looks like with a meter, I've got a video on that. Okay, check out my playlist, HVAC Tips for Technicians also. This right here is a 15-ton condenser. How do I know that? I check the side here. It says TTA 180. If you go 180 divided by 12, 12 is 1 ton. So 180 divided by 12, you're gonna get 15 tons. You see how it's 410A? Now let me show you. This right here is the plug for the compressor. See that? That right there is a terminal that was blown off of the compressor. You can see that right here. And you can see there's a bunch of black here because it created black oil, and that has to be cleaned. But what I did was I closed the valves, took these caps off here, and had to use an Allen wrench tool down there. This one right here, just a crescent wrench. I closed it off, and you can see you've got, it looks like 1/2 inch and at least 1.25 inch line, and they're all going together. You see this section right here connects to the same line set. So I got some RX flush. If you don't know what that is, check the link in the description. And I used RX flush, and then I changed the filter dryer. Okay, so in this section I changed the filter dryer, and I'll show you that right here. Okay, see that new filter dryer? Make sure you know what direction it goes. It goes from the condenser out, you know, to the liquid line, and then to the indoor coil, and then to the TXV, and then back through the suction line to the compressor. Okay, so what I did was I changed the filter dryer. I flushed it with RX flush. I use nitrogen. Right now I'm charging, I got my scales on. And then I had to isolate the components. Look at that, 120 and 300, man, that's beautiful. I gotta get my temperature probe out, check superheat and subcooling. You wanna know more about that and how to charge? Definitely check out my playlist, HVAC Tips for Technicians. Now, this is where I had to come next. And I had to make sure that my Y1 was wired up and not my Y2, because I don't need my Y2 anymore. You can see how I've taken the plug off, I've disconnected the fan wires, I've jumped out my high pressure switch and my low pressure switch because we're no longer using this side in this circuit, okay? And now I'm going to show you what I did with the contactor, because I had to do something to isolate the contactor. So I grabbed the high voltage wires that go into the contactor and I capped them. And then right there, that yellow wire, it went to the coil of circuit number 2's contactor. Okay, so you can see this contactor's pulled in because that right there was circuit number 1, but that's circuit number 2. And you can see that I've got not only the high voltage wires, but I've got the low voltage wire as well. Now I'm going to show you that on the schematic, and definitely leave me some comments. I want to know what you think. All right, here's the schematic. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So the power comes in here, okay? Power comes in here, and then I've got compressor number 1. It's hard to see this, but compressor number 1 and compressor number 2. Okay, I took the high voltage wires off of the contactor going to compressor number 2, and then if we go down here, the 24 volt section, where's our control voltage, you'll see I've got compressor number 1, CC1 and CC2. I've got a yellow and a blue wire that goes to the coil of the contactor. I took the yellow wire off of the coil of compressor number 2 down here, okay? This is compressor number 1, compressor number 2. So I took the coil wire off. That way you're no longer energizing that contactor. And then I also took the high voltage wires off. The reason I did that is just to make sure I isolate everything. Not just one way, but a couple ways. I like to make sure that I do whatever I can to make sure that nothing can happen with that circuit, with that compressor. So this is what I did, and I hope that you have learned something from the video. If you have, definitely comment below, let me know what you learned. And if you run into a situation like this, you can save the customer some money, some time, and then next year we can replace the condenser. I'm going to show you the inside furnaces. We're replacing some vent pipe for those furnaces because the vent pipe's rusted out, and then we'll conclude the video. All right, so we got 3 train furnaces, and these are 3 indoor coils, evaporator coils. They're each 5-ton coil, equaling out 15 tons. You can see the line sets have basically, you have a manifold here where you have 3 liquid lines and then 3 vapor lines going into each coil. And you can see this vent pipe is rusted out, so we're going to replace this today. Furnaces, coils, didn't have to do anything here, and everything's working again. So we've got 7.5 tons, and this should work really nicely. This is a bunch of 4-inch elbows. We got some 4-inch pipe. And now they've got 7.5 tons worth of air. This should be able to get them through this fall, because right now it's October, late October, so we don't have much hot weather, if any, left. So this will be perfect. Got your duct work and then your twin furnaces. All right. This is Tad with HVAC Tips for Technicians. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you, and I'll keep you cool if you let me.